I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Wolfhard Roll!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Y'all know what this is. Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes, and welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man. You guys know who they are, and that's Mr. Glass Half Full, and that's Spee if you nasty. Now.
What up? Let's go.
And I'm here with my brother El Jefe, a.k.a. White Jersey, a.k.a. Blue Jersey, a.k.a. I don't know. It was just some great stuff happening in that last video there where everybody was mumbling some stuff together, which was awesome. You had to look at that one there, Hef, this time around. But of course, man, shout out to you. Yes, you, the revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. Shout out to the people of X as well, man. Get in those comments and have more fun over here on YouTube, man, where the party is at. So transfer over if you can. But man, let's go around the room because I got to get happy here before I start digging into some stuff here. We got a lot to dig in here. So let's go around the room, man. How was your week? And I'm going to start with the big dog. Spee, how was your win? How was your week, brother?
The week was good, man. I mean, listen, the weekend ended on a sour note. We had some tough losses. Mets season came to an end. You know, Giants got dog walked, but you know, it's other than that, it's been great. It's been great. It was a fun ride with the Mets. I'll say that, and we'll go into a little bit more later. But you know, it's one of those like don't be sad it ended. You know, be happy that it happened. Kind of deals for me, right?
Glass half full, living up to his name. Listen to this guy.
Yeah,
that's what I live for.
Spee, here's the thing though with the Mets, right? Even though I love this ride and was magical for you, it's just like I'm happy it happened, but shit, they gotta get there. They gotta get there. Like something got to give. They got like it's hard to get there. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, like I just hope that they make it again. And hopefully they don't have Mets fans waiting too dang long for that moment to happen again. I'm hoping.
That's the plan.
I'm hoping.
I mean, there are Mets Jets fans out there. I mean, those are the people with the most hardened souls of anyone out there. Man, do they need? I mean, we all would love some more championships, but Mets Jets. Those people need something.
For as bad as it is for us Giants fans, like you always gotta like remember, just there's generations of Jets fans that haven't seen what we've seen twice, you know. So, you know, us 30-plus-year-olds, you know. So as bad as it is right now, at least we have that to fall back on. We have that in our memory, right?
It's back. So even you know us, you know, should you be over 40 years old or 40? You would have childhood memories of other Super Bowls. You know, even it didn't mean obviously, but you remember probably your family going nuts. You remember parts of like Jets fans, Mets fans. They need it. They need it bad.
Listen, I'll throw the Knicks in there too. I mean, the Knicks. Trust me, we're Knicks fans, right, Hef? So,
true. And
now Spee is just finally we adopted him, and I think he's now officially adopted over. He's ready to go.
I didn't go through all the pain that you guys went through, which is
it's been a long drought. So we understand what Mets and the rest of the guys are going through, especially being.
Usually, it's those three teams, right? It's Knicks, Jets, Mets. You know, obviously Giants and Knicks fans too, but that's a common theme between fans. It's Jets, Knicks, you know, and Mets, and poor souls. I got two of them now under my belt, so that's the Giants.
All right, let's start with Hef, man. How was your week, brother?
Well, it's become obvious you can't rely on the Giants for your happiness, right? So I'm going to take a page out of Spiro's book here. we got a New York championship. The Liberty, right?
We did.
Yes.
The Mets had a great run. I know they came up short. That was a fun run. They got me watching baseball, non-Yankees baseball, which, I mean, you're lucky if you get me to watch Yankees baseball.
Right.
I was tuning in to see what the Mets were going to do. So, like, shout out to the Mets on a really, really fun year.
Fun.
But Rangers are off to a fucking red hot start. They're whooping ass right now. Knicks getting beat in Boston, but the Knicks are back, right? There are reasons to be excited. There are things to be happy about. And yes, we're gonna talk about the Giants. We're gonna talk about everything tonight. We better get rolling.
Get rolling. Listen, guys, we got a long, fun show. But first, I want to give you guys my week because today this happened and it was wonderful. Had to go see some family that I haven't seen in a little bit. And I mean, I say a little bit. We talk a good amount of time, but shout out to them. But they gave me a nice surprise today. They told me hey, come on over. It's my wife's side of the family. So these are her two aunts, which is my aunts-in-law. That's too long, so I just say my aunts. They go, hey, we got a little surprise for you. So I want you to turn around and close your eyes. Now I said, aunties, I don't know, this isn't the crying game here. I just don't tell me to bend over and touch my toes. This isn't gonna go right. I'm opening my eyes.
What kind of hotel is this?
What is this here? I am scared. We at Grandpa's house here. I'm scared here. All right. I was like, oh, just shut up, shut your eyes. I said, you're right. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna shut my eyes. I'm gonna listen. Turn my eye, close my eyes, and they say, put your arms out just a tad bit, and I feel a coat going over me. And it was this nice, beautiful coat of the New York Giants 1990 to 1986 Super Bowl jacket here. Vintage coat here that my grandpa has had for years in the family. And they thought of, hey, man, let's give it to good old Eli, who is a huge Giant fan, and they love the podcast here at New York Revival. I know you guys are watching. Let me tell you, there was no dry eye in the house that day. I had those little misty-eyed there. So you're going to see a grown man cry here, aunties. This is incredible. Yep. So they surprised me and gift me with this nice vintage jacket. I just want to thank you guys so much. You made my day. I'm showing it on the Revivalist for the Revivalist here for you guys. So I'm going to wear this proudly for you guys, man, to pass it down through generations to come. Thank you so much, man. What a story, man. What a day that was for me. So I had to share that with you guys.
All the feels today. But that jacket is so legit. It's like so nice that you just want to keep it perfect. But you pick and choose the right time.
I would box it up and like never.
Oh, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm probably gonna wear these for games and just the pod purposes. The rest is gonna be hanging up, sitting there in the closet where I can just go, okay, let me take this out. I might frame this thing, and I just want to highlight there.
That's what I'm saying.
And Jeannie, I know you're watching. And Jeannie, I love you too. Thank you so much.
Hey,
I love you too.
Hey, Jeannie, she's the best.
Thank you so much. But yes, man, what a day. You made my day. You and Aunt Lori, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. It's a sick jacket.
The jacket itself would be enough to like cherish, but it's got the family sentiment. It's got all that going on. It's just that's just a dynamite piece to have right there.
You wear it to the next Super Bowl.
Listen, man, I'm telling you right now, this is the jacket. And the fact that I just got this, I'm telling you, Giants winning the Super Bowl next year. I don't know how.
Oh,
I don't know how.
Okay.
I'm saying this right now. This jacket comes with great powers and great responsibilities. They're gonna win the Super Bowl next year.
Yes.
Right, guys? But with that being said, man, of course, guys, we got a fun-filled show, jam-packed for you guys. We got to talk about the one thing, man. And congratulations, huge congratulations to the New York Liberty, man. Holy shoot. They have won the WNBA Finals, man. New York City has another championship since we launched New York Revival. Just want to let you know, first it was the New York Football Club, which was soccer guys, and now the New York Liberty, since we launched, brought another championship back to New York City. So, man, let me just say this, man, because a lot of people, and I've seen this online where a lot of people are like, how do you watch this stuff? It's very simple. These women work their tails off. These women, they show hustle. Something that certain, the guys you won't see at the NBA level. These women hustle. These women hustled hard. And shout out to the MVP, of course, Double J, Jonquil Jones, man, of the Liberty. Played your heart out because when UNESCO was pretty much off the entire freaking game, she hit a big three down in the fourth quarter where we had, she hit one. And I was like, listen, and you know what? I said this. It was funny before she hit this. I was like, you know what? Because she was scared to pull the trigger after a while. She just kept passing the rock off because she knew she was cold. She was ice cold. And I was like, UNESCO, not for nothing. They're giving you a shot. You got to shoot one. I said, you can't hold a gun and not shoot it, Sabrina. You got to shoot it. And no lie, right after I'm saying this, basically to myself, because everybody's in bed. You know what I mean? I'm just watching this thing, knowing I got to be up 2 hours for work. And I'm like, man, you got to shoot it. She hits this important three, man, to pull them in front. And I'm like, okay, they're going to win this thing. In overtime, by the way. I'm like, yo, they're going to win this thing. And boy and behold, long and behold, man, they freaking win this thing and brought a championship back. 28 years. 28 years it took them to actually win this championship. So them ladies, man, congratulations. I can't freaking wait, man. But I want to hear y'all first. Did y'all watch the game at least, man?
I did. I watched them. By the way, Eli, some people are saying they want to see more of the coat. You mind showing that?
Yeah, you got to model the coat off a little bit.
Yeah.
I got to model the coat off, man. It got a little bit of the decals on here.
Oh,
look at this.
That's
man.
sick.
Show on.
Oh, 86. Thank God. I thought that was
Damn, hold on, man. I gotta take this off, man. Let y'all
take it off. Show the people.
I gotta let you see the back of this bad boy.
Back's where it's at.
I gotta show you where
party's in the back.
The parties, so all business in the front, but party in the back.
Yes, exactly.
Always.
Yes. With the symbols, I love the logos of the Super Bowls.
That's real sick.
Especially, I love that 91.
You want to talk about misty-eyed today? I was, people. I was like, I can't let them see me cry. I'm gonna cry. I told them I'm gonna cry giving this to. I really was. So, thank you so much, man. I gotta put. Now I gotta. Let me put this back on because I gotta rock.
Yeah,
I was gonna take it off.
All right, let's leave the view like this then. Looks good.
Yeah, let's
right.
Let's do it today.
But yes, I watched the Liberty game. Had to catch. I think Eli was messaging us when it was like middle of the fourth quarter or something like that. So I threw it on then. I caught overtime. I mean, overtime of a championship deciding series is pretty sick. Like in any event, right? To just get that level of you're either fucking champion or your season's over and you got 5 minutes to do it. So that's pretty cool to see it come down that way. Happy that New York's got a parade. There was some sloppy basketball, but you know what? It was still basketball, and it's still a New York championship. There is a parade, so a lot of people are counting this championship. Do you guys feel like where does this weigh? Obviously, like you it's hard to put it up against. How about this in a fair fight? How does this level to the New York soccer championship that we had? And I think that's more of a fair fight than against the major guy sports.
You know what? Listen, and please, I just want to take this for a second because I've seen some stuff, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy the way people are poo-pooing on the WNBA. I'm not happy about this. But let's just go with the two comparisons that you had. To me, and only to me, this is bigger than a New York Football Club. And shout out to the New York Football Club. Shout out those guys. They did their thing. Thank you so much. You brought a championship back to New York City. But the fan base around the WNBA, as far as the basketball and etc., I think a lot of people will show up to that parade more than they'll show up to the New York Football Club. In fact, I don't even know if they had a parade for the New York Football Club.
I don't know.
So I know this Thursday is the Liberty. You know what I mean? And I think people will kind of turn out for that one. So this is a big deal. I think this is a big title that's coming back to the city. Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand the Knicks and the Yankees. Those are the bigger platforms. This is why they get paid a crap load of money, people. We understand the advertiser revenue. We understand business, okay? But the fact that these women bought them back, this is huge, man, for the city, I think. This is something the city needed. So even if, we have a little bit of a drought here and they win another one back-to-back, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be even more major if they win another one back-to-back. I'm telling you right now. So I think this is huge compared to the New York Football Club. Hands down by far. I
have thoughts. Spiro, you go first.
Yeah, I would say that
when this happens, that means the setup is coming. That means somebody
the soccer fans are passionate. I agree, but I think that Liberty. I would put Liberty above the New York Football Club. In my opinion, too, I would have to agree there. It clearly. I don't think it holds a candle to any of the top four sports, the men's sports. If one of those, like the hockey teams, basketball teams, baseball teams, or football teams, I don't think you're going to see half the turnout. I got to be honest with you. But there will be a nice turnout. I think people were I watched more WNBA in the past 2 weeks than I've ever watched in my life, hand up. And I have my issues with being a basketball player And I'm one of those guys you're speaking to. I know. I have a couple of issues about the play. It's been tough. It was tough to watch at times, but once I got into it, and in the end, I'm always going to root for New York.
No. See, you backpedaling a bit. I'm not going to let you do that.
No. I always root for New York, but no, for real talk. WNBA was a tough watch for me. It was a tough watch.
All right, stand on that. Stand on that. Don't say, well, once I got used to it. Stand on that.
No. And once I got used to it, I rooted for New York. That's what I'll say. I just rooted for New York in that instance. It's still tough to watch. And we'll talk about Caitlin Clark in a little bit too, but I think her level play hopefully is the new norm now, because I think she's going to bring something to the WNBA that hasn't really existed so far with the level of skill that she provides. And that's I still don't think, I think WNBA is great. And I rooted
that Revis backpedal again. That backpedal's better than
I'm rooting for them.
Spiro Island over here. Yeah,
it's backpedal's better than Revis.
No, I'm not backpedaling. I'm telling you straight. It's a tough watch for me. It's a tough watch. I'm saying that. But I'm a New York fan. So go New York, go. But still waiting on that.
Listen,
so man, Liberty's your team, but it's just not. It's not
my game. Yes. It's just not my game.
Hef, take it away because this is a tag team right here. Bing, bing.
I really wanted to disagree and go, NYCFC with the bigger deal, and I know you mentioned Caitlin Clark, and that's kind of where I was going, because this is a world where, Caitlin Clark's last Final Four was the most viewed women's. She has brought so many eyes to the game, and now she's in the WNBA. She was the lead story every single week, and this is that league that she's in, and now the New York Liberty took it the distance. So I think timing wise, it's in the last 28 years, this may have been the best time to win it. Because you got more eyes on the game than ever before. So I think timing wise, it's great. I'm with Spiro. Like, there was a 90-second clip of just, how do I say
it was frustrating. It's frustrating. It was just frustrating. It was like, damn it. Like, there was like easy miss layups. There was just
air balls, turnovers. And that's like highest level championship.
There's like 3 straight air ball. Like, you'll see an air ball in the NBA. Don't get me wrong. I've watched plenty of NBA. I've seen it, but there was like 4, 5.
Shout out, Jake.
Jake's over it. Air
balls.
All right, so let's make this quick.
Because me and Spiro are trying to be nice.
Let's make this. Forget nice. Let's make this quick, okay? I understand how it looked, all right, compared to the men's sports, all right? You guys have to understand, these are women here, right? And I'm not trying to diminish what they're trying to do, right? It's just they do need a higher platform. So if the WNBA has a higher platform to where women can, achieve sports, and if that's it, go at it. This is what makes it so great to me, right? Is that, like you said, Speed, we have an Angel Reese, we have a Caitlin Clark that's changing the shape and the perception of the game as we speak. So the air balls and listen, the Angel Reese, we see some clips too. Let's not get it twisted. Angel Reese, all right.
She doesn't lead the league in rebounding is because
exactly
catching all rebounds. We understand.
Missing a lot of layups to get all those.
I'm just saying, right? So again, I think we're just putting we're setting the bar tremendously high compared to what we're usually seeing. Because again, this is just a new popular sport that's coming alive as of right now, is women's basketball. So I think we're putting the expectations a little bit too high, knowing that it's totally different gender here at this point. And to say solely, man, I just can't get it because of the air balls and etc. Women, respectfully, you know what I mean? It's a different sport to what we're usually seeing. Now I'll tell you this: they have more grit, they have more grind than I've seen in men's basketball. Yeah, some air balls, some layups, some missed. I get it, but these women hustle. This is the defense that I've seen. I don't see in men's. I just don't. These women were up on each other, playing defense to win a chance. The entire season, blocking shots, playing defense. Like, that's what I like about it. It's the hustle and bustle from what I'm usually seeing on the men's side. Didn't we just say not too long ago? Most of the fans was like, "I'm over the NBA. I'm over it. They don't play hard enough." And this is why I gravitated towards the WNBA a little more, because the women, they play hard. They really do. Yeah, they don't have as finesse or speed as the men, but these guys, they hustle, man. And that's what I like about this sport. And so I don't want anyone to poo-poo on this no more. Watch these women, man, because I have a daughter. If she's playing ball and she want to go to the WNBA, have at it,
I'd be number one fan. I'll
have at it, sweetheart. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So all the little girls and the dads that have little girls out there and they want to play ball and they need a pinnacle as such as the WNBA, and that's their highest pinnacle, then you need to root for this league to last a very long time. You need to. Yeah. Root for it. Watch it. Support it. Love it. It's going to be here for a long time. Thanks to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and more players to come. Like trust me, there's a whole lot of women that's coming out of college that's going to take this to the next level for sure. But it's definitely time to start giving them their kudos and stop shitting on it, man. Come on. Come on, please.
I will say this, when I watch women, and this is not a women's thing for me. It's more of it's when I watch women's soccer, like when I watch like that, the U.S. women's team, I genuinely love watching them. Like the skill is up there, everything's up. Like they are legitimately good, and I legitimately love watching it. And so and I also love watching men's soccer, and I know the difference. It just to me, and again, maybe it's because I played the sport a little bit, and I was heavily involved in it. But I just it's an adjustment period. It's adjustment period. I need to adjust, but I'm not there yet. And but I think Caitlin Clark will bring the new era. The new era. No, there's no backtracking. I think Caitlin Clark is by far the most talented person to come into WNBA ever, and I believe she will bring more people behind her that are going to have that skill.
By the way, before we move on to the next topic here, there's a revivalist of the month. I don't know if she knows it, but we need to make this clear.
Dude, holy shit, a super chat.
Scooby, we love you. And we announced this. We announced this last Tuesday, and then we forgot to hit you up. So that's our bad. But you are our revivalist of the month, and there was no one else that could be, Scoobs. It's all you. We love you so much. Always pulling for you. You're always supporting. We just love you so much. So thank you. Thank you, Scoobs, for everything. You are the revivalist of the month. We gotta send you something. Yeah. And always meet up at the next Giants event. There's nobody better than Scoobs. We love you.
I think she's the first revivalist of the month we'll actually send something to. I feel like we have to send something to Scoobs.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll start a tradition here. But Scoob, please, how we usually do it. You know how we do it. Come join us on the show. Yes. Have a drink with your brothers. If you got 2 minutes, 5 minutes, hour, whatever you want, you tell us how long you want to be on. All right. If you say 10 seconds to say hi and bye, we're grateful for that too. So Scoob, if you can, shoot me a text, shoot us a DMs, just give us a shout, and just tell us when you want to do it on a Tuesday night. Come on in and have a beer with your bros. Talk some Giants, man. Talk some sports. And she knows Liberty Bottle. She knows
she hates me right now, but it's all love. You know that.
For real, I'm just saying, she know women back. She be chewing y'all ear off right now.
I know. I'd love to hear from her. I will.
And Bill the Bar Hartnett chiming in.
I like that. The best. Bill the Bar Hartnett, I like that.
Every time I see his name, that's just what I hear now. I mean,
Bill the Bar Hartnett. He set the ball revival. Yes, sir.
Bill and Scooby could talk. I mean, Bill is the bar. That's for sure.
I like that.
He is.
But we love you both. Thank you guys.
We love
for
you
your
guys
support.
For real. But guys, of course, man, you want to know something crazy? I also got this from Grandpa's house today. When it was the Brooklyn Dodgers, there's a plaque of the World Series of the Brooklyn Dodgers, 1955, facing the New York Yankees. A plaque. I got to send it in the chat with you guys. I forgot.
Let's see what you got.
But I actually have a plaque. It's in the back. I apologize, but I got it from Grandpa's house today. Another gift that was gifted.
Grandpa did some good shit, man.
Oh my gosh, my aunts, man. Shout out to my aunts.
Awesome.
But another gift, 1955 World Series, the Brooklyn Dodgers versus the New York Yankees. And long and behold, the LA Dodgers are facing the New York Yankees in the World Series. You want to talk about whoa moment? When I saw that thing, I was like, what? It was nuts for me, man. But let's talk about it. The Yankees
won that World Series. Hold on. What year is it?
1955. It was on the plaque.
1955.
Let me see here, man.
World Series. It was, hold on. Brooklyn Dodgers over. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
This is
Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-3. Hell of a World Series, it sound like.
Wow.
But man, let's hope it doesn't.
I gotta
come
show.
back
I
the same
feel
way.
like I gotta show the people the plaque now. Feels like I gotta.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see it. I need
All
to
right,
see.
hold on one second. Let me just stop the camp. Hold on, let me mute the mic.
You go get it. But let's start talking a little bit of Yankees here. As we're transitioning. Jeff, we watched the game over the weekend. Amazing Game 5 finish. The Soto home run to essentially put them into the World Series. Where were you for that bat? Were you watching it live, and what were your feelings when
happened to be watching it live, and I've never seen anything like that in a moment that big. I mean, I think he went down. The count was 1-2 at one point, and this guy I've never seen so much confidence. Not even arrogance, cocky. Like, it was pure confidence, and I didn't look at it as, like, when I used the word taunting, I said he was taunting the pitcher, but he was letting him know he's close, right? Like, he fouled off. I think he fouled off 3, and he was giving him a nod of respect. Like, I almost got that one. I almost got it. And then he just gave him something to hit, and for him to hit a home run in that moment,
dude, dead center.
after that at bat, where you could tell he had no doubt. There was no doubt in his mind. I'm like, damn, that dude is that's a blank check moment for that dude, in case it wasn't already.
Hell yeah. That's sick, E. That's dope as hell, man.
That's got to go up in the man cave right there.
Hey, yeah, you got to have that on the wall somewhere.
Absolute fire when I saw this thing. I was like, man, what are the odds that he has this little piece of heirloom here of this, man? Like, man, you want to talk about history in that house today. Like I said, it was a tough to have a dry eye in that house, man, to get it all.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Right.
I'm gonna take this back.
That's awesome.
I'm so pumped, really pumped for the World Series. This is like a lot of star power in this World Series. It's going to be awesome.
It's what you want to draw up.
I also want to hear allow you to tie a bow on, I'm sure, a Mets season that meant a lot to you too.
Yeah, listen, it was a tough. When these runs happen, they're always tough. It's same with the Rangers last year, but it was a different Rangers season because the Rangers, I expected the Rangers to get that far. They've been there before. It was, they have one of the better players. The Mets, this Mets run came out of nowhere. It was at the beginning of the season, I said, 80 wins at most. They're going to be trading people at the deadline. It's a transition year. Next year, we go for all the big free agents, right? So for this run to have happened the way it did, and I swear to God, that the last month of the season, going from the Brave series with Lindor, the clutch home runs.
Oh my God!
I'd never seen so many big games, big time moments as a Met in my whole life, a Met fan in my whole life. And obviously they came ashore. They had to play the number 3 seed, the number 2 seed, and finally the number 1 seed. And
building character.
Yeah, just build character. We're over here building character, beating our rivals. And this is what it was a tough road for any team, let alone slightly undermanned team. But next year they'll be. I truly feel like they're building something. They have the owner, they have the general manager, they have what I now know is the manager, and those 3 pieces will take you far if you got those at the top right. And Francisco Lindor proved himself to be a captain of this team. He was a heart and soul. We found a star in Vientos. This guy was hitting big home run after big home run, and the future is bright. It feels like the future is bright. They got money coming off the books, and all the money spent with a good minor league system coming up. It hurt. It hurt a lot because I wanted to be. The Subway Series was so close. It was so close, but I enjoyed the fuck. I had one of the most fun times ever at being a Met fan. That was awesome. So
just the way they were winning elimination games and clutch moments, it was fucking incredible. Like, that's literally why you're a fan, and like you would sign up for that over a 500 season where you fizzled out and you didn't make, like, you would take that for the heartbreak, because that's what being a fan is all about.
And that's why I challenge people to, at the beginning of every season, have hope, right? Like, if by the end of the season or middle of the season it all falls apart, I get it. But I went into this Mets season with the lowest of expectations, and they blew them away. And and that's what sports can do. That's what teams can do sometimes when they galvanize, when these random players have their best seasons of their career. It could happen in any season. So that's my half glass full bullshit, obviously. But at the beginning of every season, I want to have hope for this exact reason.
Yeah, but listen, guys, man, it feels like I gotta like chime in on the Mets and the Yankees. Magical season. The Mets started out like a poo-poo. They were like doing terrible to actually almost one game away from the World Series. Man, that's called a successful season. Mets fans should definitely be proud and be honored, or that their team went this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so the fact that they were under 500 to going in, come on, man, that's huge right there. And you want to talk about the Yankees doing
Yankees
their
got
thing
some work to do.
Listen, they do. I won't say the Dodgers are a pushover. No, but this is
will be the toughest team.
It will be, but this is East Coast versus West Coast. This feels like Pac and Biggie all over again, minus all the other stuff. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's East Coast versus West Coast. This is the biggest media markets in the world. So this is gonna, generate a whole bunch of revenue for the sport, for advertisement. This is gonna be the biggest World Series that you've probably ever seen in years. So the fact that we get both of those teams, I mean, I would have loved the Subway Series because I would have loved to kick that ass, especially that a-hole that was doing all the films there with my guy in the Mets uniform there. I would love to kick his tail, but better luck next year, buddy. Just to let you know. But I'm just saying, this is gonna be huge for us, man. So I'm excited to see what the Yankees can do. This would be their toughest challenge by far. And if history repeats itself from 1955.
Let's hope it doesn't.
I'm hoping this is the get back.
I'll tell you guys that
clap back.
I'm telling you guys this though. You guys are about to watch Shohei Ohtani in full bloom, like watching that guy. He's a problem. As advertised. It is. I'm so glad that motherfucker is in the Judge versus him. And I hope Judge steps up to the plate because we need Judge to step up. If he steps up to the plate, it'll be it would be like the matchup of all time. It's going to be so awesome to watch.
And listen, guys, I do totally forgot, man. Shout out to the 316 people out of here watching with us tonight. And don't forget, man, the New York Revival were brought to you by Underdog. That's right, Underdog Fantasy. If you use promo code Revival, and use promo code Revival, they'll match your deposit by half up to $250. That's right, guys. Use promo code Revival to match your deposit by half up to $250. So download the app today. Underdog Fantasy. Tell them Revival sent you. All right.
Not only that, send us a DM after you sign up so we can do our own drafts. Like it could be 6-person leagues for a weekend. You can do weekend drafts. Yes. Fucking best ball, dude. We're having so much fun on there. So join, send us a DM, and we'll do like a private competition. Let's do that.
That's fun. That's fun.
Maybe throw some parlays our way too. Like I don't know. Maybe if you're feeling hot, you like a parlay, throw it our way. And wet the beak a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Wet the beak. But guys, really quick, man. Of course, man, the Giants. You saw how I just twitched a little bit just now. Yeah. All right, we got to talk about the Giants, and I got to and
do we?
Yeah, man. And you know why I'm changing my tone here? Because we got some things we got to talk about, man. They get dog walked by Philly. The quarterback didn't look good. The offensive line didn't look good. The play calling, you can say it didn't look good. The defense was the only shining star. But we want to talk about Deonte Banks for a second here because that guy just gave up in the middle of the game. Seemed like he was just out of it. And I wouldn't say he was even getting cooked that entire game. I mean, maybe you guys can tell me. You know what I mean? But that type of attitude, and please just let me – I'm sorry. But that type of attitude from Deonte Banks can poison a locker room. Mm-hmm. That can have everyone turn on the head coach. That can have everyone turn on the quarterback. That can have everyone turn on the GM with that type of attitude. This is what I hate. When John Mara and Joe Shane says, Dayball, you need to bring it in a little bit. Because when you start taking away people's characteristics of who they are as a person, you're going to get stuff like this. If you're telling someone to tone it down of who they truly are, they're going to tone it down so much that they're going to lose themselves in the process.
Yeah.
This is life. Like we've seen this around people that have done this before in your workplace where you go tone it down, where they just where they become a complete failure at what they're used to doing. Then you'll get players like this. The fear ain't there anymore. And the consequences isn't there anymore because they're so worried about the optics instead of letting the coach. When Parcells was here, he used to curse everyone out. I remember when Phil Simms, there's a clip where Phil Simms walks over to him and says something. He's like, you better take your blank and sit your ass blank somewhere. And you can read his mouth a little bit. Sit your effing blank down somewhere. Who are you to come up to me and say that? Brian Daboll has that same energy as a Parcells. Guys, I'm not saying he's Parcells. Stop. Please. We don't need to go through this debate.
Don't get it
some of you
twisted.
guys.
Don't get it
Yeah, I know
twisted.
some of you guys, you said Parcells. I'm not saying the success rate, okay? I'm just saying the attitude-wise. He has that passion in him. He loves football. So when you take that little bit away, you'll get a Deonte Banks. Now, Deonte Banks, guys, forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm long-winded. Deonte Banks, what you have done is poisonous to the locker room and it's poisonous to the team. If you do not get it together in this next game, or at least apologize, at least I hope you did now, you need to be benched for the remaining of the game or remaining of the season. Sit your ass down. If you don't want to play for this team and play hard to earn your money, because at the end of the day, you do get paid for this, whether you're on a rookie deal or not. You do get paid for this, okay? If you cannot earn your money, sit down. Yep. Let another young guy get in there and get some reps in there because maybe we don't need you here. We can lose with or without you. It's been proven. Okay? It's been proven.
Yeah.
So Deonte Banks, hear me and hear me good. If you do that nonsense again, sit down for the rest of the season because we don't need anybody that quitting on this team right now. The fans, we do it enough as fans. We couldn't win a team enough as fans. We did. But we don't need none of that BS here on the New York Giants. We need some winners here. We need some dogs here. We need it. It got to be contagious, so you're not making it contagious right now. All right? Deonte Banks, get it together. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to say that, but give me your thoughts on Deonte Banks kind of giving up on that game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about contagious, my varsity basketball coach said the same thing. We were in a rut at one point at the end of the season, and we had lost in the state finals, and there was a season to go after that. And we lost a couple of games, and he just said, like, losing is contagious. Like, it permeates through the locker room, and once you lose a lot, it's hard to get out of that. And it goes through everybody. It's like, what's the next play? You got people quitting. When are we going to mess up? It's all bad vibes. It's contagious. And that kind of play, that kind of effort, it shows the other guy, the younger guys, the other guys, hey, like, this guy's quitting, then I don't give a shit either. And then it could, like you said, it could permeate through the locker room, man. And Jerome Henderson, to his credit, got in his face as the play happened. He's like, the hell went on? Like, what are you doing here? And this wasn't the first Banks lack of effort play either. There's been several of them this year, and Tiki Barber let into him too. He's acting like he's this CB1 shutdown corner,
lockdown guy.
And to his credit, he's not playing bad. But you cannot act like that unless you are the guy. You're not a top 5 guy. You still have a lot of work to go on your ball skills because like you're on some guys, but you are letting up some big plays still. So Tay Banks, work on yourself. Try a little harder. All right, and give an A+ effort for this defense and this team because you're young still. You're not a veteran, so get out there and prove that you could be a CB1. And I hope this lights a fire in his ass because it pissed me off because I was watching the game and I was like, did I miss a whistle? Because like I thought like they blew the play dead. He was so close to him. I was like, did you not want to even reach out? Like what happened? And it's infuriating as a fan to watch that. As New Yorkers, we don't want to see guys quit like that. And that's the number one thing that will get fans on you. So you're public enemy number 1, Deonte. Sorry. That's what it is now.
And this is what I meant by this could be a breaking point. It's not just about the quarterback position, which it obviously is. That's a huge topic of discussion. But it's about the vibe in the locker room. It's about a defense that's been busting their ass and getting nothing in return from the offense. A defense that from weeks 2 to 6 held teams under 21 points. That they should be winning games, and they weren't winning enough games. That pisses the defense off. They're still human beings, right? So at some point, they start thinking about themselves because the team isn't going anywhere. And that's what's happening now. Deonte Banks, I mean, that was worse than a business decision. I mean, he just didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right. That was awful. And
there was another one later in the game too. Like as Obscene said.
Go ahead.
There was another one later in the game too. Like as Obscene said. There was another one later in the game too. Like as Obscene said. There was another one later in the game too. Like as Obscene said.
Yeah, like absolutely unacceptable effort, especially from a second-year player that you're looking at as a potential CB1 of your franchise, right? Like that's you want to be a leader. That ain't the way. It's easy to have good vibes when you're winning or preseason when nothing matters, nothing's happened yet. But like, who are you now when it gets tough? And this sucks because we're going to see more of this, as this keeps happening. And a lot of things you like sometimes if you're looking at defenses around the league, sometimes the ones with the best offenses, they really do feed each other. And it's not just about sustaining drives so the defense is rested. They know the defense knows they're playing for something every single down. Like they have playoff and beyond aspirations. This team has none of that. They watch ESPN, they watch NFL Network, they're watching the Giants get dragged. From the owner, GM, head coach, they're watching all of that. They see all of that. So they're bringing that to the practice. They're bringing it to the game. And now how much can Dable do to convince these guys that, no, you're part of something special. We're building something here. Well, it ain't fucking showing up in almost any facet of the game. So these dudes are just losing their will. I mean, that's an effort play that, Pee Wee is where you see who guys are, if they really want to play or not. And he probably hasn't done that since maybe ever, right? Because he's always cared. But when you start losing like that, it all just falls apart.
And Jeff, to your point, though, you can't do that. You're getting paid big bucks. I don't care if your feelings are hurt about the offense. You're getting paid to do your job. So do your fucking job. I don't care what's going on the other side of the ball. We've seen some bad offenses in New York Giant history, and I've seen a lot of locker rooms get split up, and I understand that. But that tape's out there. You are now labeled a quitter for the next. If Dable gets fired, you think that next coach is going to be like, you know what? I want this guy on my team. No, you are a quitter. You're a quitter. It's on tape. That you can't erase that tape. So keep doing the quitting shit. See how far it's going to get you.
It brings me up. They were talking about this guy on the radio today, so he just came on my mind again. Like, imagine how Troy Polamalu played the game. Yeah. This was the anti-Troy. Like, you think that dude would ever, like, he could be down 40 points. That dude would be spearing you out of bounds with, like, the most power he has. That's a football player. That's why he's a Hall. Got to bring that attitude, even if you don't have that ability.
100%.
And that sucks. And you're right. That's on his tape forever.
And you know what? Not for nothing, guys. Like you said, speed. I'm going to piggyback what you said. Doesn't matter what the offense is doing. You get paid to do a job. And just like to the point of Polamalu, he'll never give up on a play again. This is what makes you a football player. Nobody wants a quitter on their team. I don't care if it's really childish to me. Because we know how Deontay Banks can be a little bit of a child. We understand that. I think his mature level isn't high, in my opinion. I don't think his mature level is high. I'm going to say it. I don't
Agreed.
Care.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So for you to be like, oh, we're down, we're losing, I'm not going to play no more. Give me my ball back. It's just like, bro, really? Like, come on, man. Deontay, you should, like, on some real, honestly, go sit down for the rest of the year if you're going to be like that. If you're not happy with the offense, fine. But if you're not giving maximum effort, doing your job that you get paid for, because you get paid a lot of money. You get paid more than us probably put together. You know what I mean? As far as our salaries is concerned. I'm sure you get paid a good penny. And the fact that you're quitting on us like that, get off the team. I don't want anybody here on it. I don't care how many. I don't care if we haven't won no games. If you're quitting like that, get off the team. I don't want you here. Sit your ass down in the corner and go cry and pout about it later on. You're not a CB1. You're not. At best, you're a CB2. So to think you this big head honcho like you freaking Darrelle Revis back there, or you're freaking I know I'll even give you my Giants. You think you're Corey Webster back there. You think you're Aaron Ross back there. You're not even close to them yet. You're not. They won championships here in this city. So if you can't even fill them shoes, get off my team. I don't want to hear this no more, man. Like for real, don't ever quit on this team, man. You do we lose by with or without you, we'll lose, no problem at all. I just want to say this, man. Saquon Barkley went nuts. 187 yards total, 1 touchdown, 10.4 yards a carry. In hindsight, and I'm gonna start with you, Hef, because you've been on it. In hindsight, should we have signed Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley? What would you do?
We're screwed either way because like Jones isn't good enough for what he's being paid, and our roster wasn't in a spot where you should be paying a running back top dollar. You know, you look at the Ravens when they added Henry or the 49ers when they added McCaffrey, they were a special player away.
Mm-hmm.
And like, look at the impact they've had. Those are the teams that could go for it. Like, Barkley's doing great with the Eagles, but I don't think he's going to put them over the edge to win a Super Bowl. The other teams were built for a Super Bowl. And I think I picked the Ravens preseason to go all the way. So I almost neither, right? And it just shouldn't surprise anybody. Like, I just don't think Saquon did anything wrong. I think that should be put to bed. Like, he would have stayed here if the Giants ponied up, and they didn't. So the Giants can't do anything right, and so it shouldn't surprise. This was John Mara's nightmare for sure.
Oh,
I mean, he rarely, at least in Hard Knocks, he wanted to make that point because Joe Shane was just smiling, clueless. I think the Eagles are out on Saquon. Good call. Good trusted source. Good source you got there, Joe.
Yeah.
But then for Mara to say, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping if he goes to the Eagles. Not only did he go there, he almost had his career high in rushing, could have had 3 touchdowns. He rested in the fourth quarter. He was signing autographs for Eagles fans in your stadium. That is the fucking worst case scenario for John Mara. I hope he's embarrassed. Everyone should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
I don't know if Eli really liked that rant or if he's frozen.
I thought he was just so happy about it. He was like, "You're right. No, you're right. Listen, to go on to my part of this, I think that I still don't think that they made the wrong decision. Like Saquon Barkley wouldn't have dragged this offense into a top 10 offense. That's not what would have happened. And I know that the vibes look great, but he's running behind a better offensive line. He has a better offense to work with. We wouldn't have been able to give him that, at this point. So I don't think that they made the wrong decision per se. It just looks terrible. Looks like you have egg on your face because of what happened in Hard Knocks, like you said, and what John Mara heard, and what you heard from John Mara, and it just, you knew this was coming. But the reason why they were on the field all the time and why the defense looked gassed is because the offense couldn't move the fucking ball. The offense couldn't sustain a drive. And you give the ball to an offense like that for the whole game, time possession, they're going to run all over you. And that's what they did. And at the end of the game, the defense kind of, I won't say quit. Maybe they were just fully gassed, whatever you want to say. But it's a bad look, man. Again, to walk at home on Saquon's homecoming game. And, you have fans out there burning his jersey, which, listen, Saquon didn't do anything wrong. I mean, let's all say that. We know that. He went to a team that paid him the most, a local team. Good for him. Could win there, But when you go to the Eagles, you have to expect some kind of backlash from Giants fans. I mean, Giants fans burning jerseys is a little bit too much, in my opinion. But there was going to be boos.
Yep.
There's going to be boos. There's going to be hate. Sorry.
And absolutely. Listen, guys, we understand the athlete in which Saquon Barkley is. We understand who Saquon Barkley is. So these numbers don't surprise me. I just don't know if he'd have did it on. I mean, he probably would have did it on the Giants. Who knows? You know what I mean? But we can cry over spilled milk all we want. We understand we wanted Saquon here. I get it. You know what I mean? He went to the Eagles, the rivalry. I get it. But I don't think we'd have been winning games with him here. It's just something is wrong with this roster here at this point. You get what I'm saying? So I just don't know if this is – I just don't know. I just don't know if Saquon – would have been the right choice here at this point. So I knew he was going to get off. I knew he was going to do his thing. It's Saquon freaking Barkley. So let's not cry over spilled milk here, Giants fans. That's it.
Dude, I think you're right. I don't think our
let's
record.
Not cry over spilled milk here.
I don't think our record would be any different. But I really feel like the quarterback position matters that much, and there needs to be a Joe Shane conversation at some point. A lot of people are saying, give it time, it's patience, it's still a rebuild. Well, then, how low is the bar for you? If in year 3, when the roster is completely 100% his, that you're saying, give it more time. He's not doing a good enough job. And the offensive line, which we thought was on its way, but you lose one guy and the whole thing falls apart. So they were watching Izudu and Evan Neal in practice every day. You knew what you had behind Andrew Thomas. Injury is a possibility for anybody. And then as soon as Andrew Thomas goes down, Izudu is a revolving door, and Evan Neal can't even see the field. And now you're scouring the waiver wire for starting left tackles, and you're bringing in guys coming off ACLs. That is such a bad fucking look, especially when the two guys that are supposed to back up Andrew Thomas is your 7th overall fucking pick, who's third string.
Hold on. Before we go through that, because I want to play a game with you guys here. I want to play a game with you here, Hef, because I think we're on to something here. All right. But first, let's get to the super chats here, and let's get this out.
Holy shit, a super chat.
Let's play this game, Hef. Hold on. Let's get
you got him.
Okay, well, goes back a little bit on another topic. C's, what up, baby? What's going on? Curious on all your thoughts on Brandon Brown at Colorado. The clip is circulating around. I'm going to ask, would you replace Joe Shane with a young 36 up-and-coming Brandon Brown? For me personally, if you want to keep this some kind of stability while, like, changing the mind at the top, that's the best way to go. And I think we all kind of could agree that Brandon Brown is a rising star. He's going to get a GM job somewhere. I would love for Brandon Brown to take over, and if you want to keep Dable, even better. Like, right, like if you want to keep Dable, but you know that Joe Shane's not doing a job, that would be a nice little transition to go to Brandon Brown. I love it personally. I don't know what you guys think though.
I'll make this quick. If one goes, all goes, because I'm not sure what hand he has in this roster.
Yeah,
so
fair.
If one goes, all goes. If you're gonna, no,
that's that's a hard thing to measure, and I think we talked about it in the pre-show. Is you took Joe Shane from Buffalo because Buffalo was doing things well, but Joe Shane, who knows how much he was fucking doing there? Like, that's a hard thing to figure out. And then you interview someone, you're like, oh, he's smart. Let's take him. But you have no idea until you have it, or a guy that's got the track record. It's just a hard thing to get right.
It is hard.
And Brandon Brown is a similar thing. He seems to disagree with Shane, but keep his mouth shut, at least on camera and in certain clips. So it's like, that makes me think he might know the right thing to do because Shane doesn't seem to know what to do. I just think Shane is in over his head, but Brandon Brown, I think, is a possibility of John Mara saving face. He doesn't want to fire and clean house. It could be an opportunity to save face, promote from within, so that not everyone gets fired. We'll see.
Okay, real quick. Our boy Chris K. What's up, Chris? Let's get to this Neil topic. All right.
Thank you, Chris. That's an orange one, guys. That's an orange one. We're not going to clap for this or anything. What are you doing here?
Chris, the best.
Air horns. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. Sorry, brother. Yeah, we almost fell asleep at the wheel there. That's an orange, man.
He's got a good question too, and it's fair. Why isn't Neil getting any snaps? With them playing Izudu over him at left tackle, and now with them trying TJ Humphries, does this mean Giants management has given up on Neil? Izudu was trash last year, is trash this year. How worse can it be than Neil? There's something else afoot, right? There's got to be something else afoot here.
And we're going to get to that because we're going to play this game here, Chris. Thank you so much, because we're going to get to that. We're going to answer all your questions right there in a little bit. We got a nice game that we created. And first, I just want to say shout out to the 408 people
watching this game.
Chat. Let's watch this. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys.
We love you guys.
But Hef, I want to play a game with you because I had to stop you mid rant, and here's the reason why. Because you're on to something here. I'm gonna play
cooking.
the blame game.
I don't know if I could fire up the grill again. I was cooking, and
now
I got to relight the coals and everything.
Relight it.
It's a gas grill. It's easy to relight. Don't worry.
So with that being said, we're gonna play the blame game, brother. All right. I'm gonna take a different angle. All right. Speed as well. You're gonna be involved in this, but I want you to take the blame game. Who do you blame right now of the woes of the New York Giants? And you're going to fire up this gas grill, brother, because I'm going to you right now. Right now, who do you take the blame, or who you give the blame to right now for the woes of this New York Giants?
I blame Joe Shane because his biggest decision, if you think about the most important positions in football, you got quarterback, you got left tackle, edge rusher. Those are the first ones that come to mind, the premium positions. And the first thing he did with that biggest decision, and it could be a career-defining decision, is you gave Daniel Jones that contract, and you got nothing in return. right? His good year was on his 4th year of the rookie deal. So you got literally nothing in return. He hasn't thrown a touchdown at MetLife since you gave him that contract. Okay? This is a guy, you have egg on your face, and you missed. You missed on the biggest deal that you gave out. And then Andrew Thomas, you did the right thing. You locked him up. He's a premier left tackle. But you have zero depth behind him. You don't have a startable player behind him, which you should have known before week 8 of the NFL season. And the reason you don't have depth is because you missed on Izudu completely, who was a revolving door last week. And then your 7th overall pick is unplayable. That is a failure in the biggest measure on the biggest stage. That is absolute failure. So you missed on that. You misplayed the Saquon thing. You look like an absolute joke after the Saquon thing now. You're the laughing stock of every sports show talking about the Giants. It looks like you're in over your head. I don't know. It's so hard to find like the guaranteed hits that you've drafted. You know, bringing Burns in, fine. But you paid him a huge amount, and the Giants are still 2-5. So what are we? Can you really say we're a lot better than we were before he got here? It seems like we have more star power. It seems like we have better players. But getting the quarterback wrong, having no depth behind your left tackle, that cripples your season, and it clearly has. So Joe Shane, you can't remove the owner, John Mara, right? You could blame him if you want, but he's not going anywhere. You don't sell a money printing business, okay? You just don't. So he's not going anywhere. So Joe Shane was not the GM to stand up to Mara and do the right thing. He was not looking at the roster honestly, even though there was some success that first year. He didn't see it the way it was. He saw it for pie in the sky, what it could be. So he's got egg on his face. He misplayed a whole lot, and there's not nearly enough hits in his 3 drafts so far.
And you know what? Let me say this, Speed. I'm gonna go right to you. I'm gonna go right to you, Speed. I promise.
No,
but I'm gonna piggyback. I think Joe Shane's to blame. Okay. Here's why. You hit the nail on the head. When you start looking at the draft of what Joe Shane bought in here, first things first, let's talk about his first day at office. First day in office, guess what he had? At least probably 75%, give or take, people. He had a roster that was built by Dave Gettleman, okay? Dave Gettleman built that roster that coach of the year out the situation. Not only has the NFL coach of the year out that situation, they go to the playoffs, right? Then they had to sign Daniel Jones. So guess what? Joe Shane drafts again at least 2 more times. Let's just go through these numbers here. When you start looking at the draft here, or when you start looking at some of the players, let's take a look at Azeez Ojulari. Dave Gettleman guy. Plays the same position as Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau was drafted, what, number 6 overall in the first round, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I don't know.
5.
It, right?
5, but yeah.
Number 5.
Yeah.
That's even higher. It's even higher.
That's
number 5 in the draft, man. And right now, he's giving you 17.5 sacks in total right now in his career. When you're looking at Azeez Ojulari, who has a health issue the entire time being here with the New York Giants. Right now, he has 20 sacks right now in his career. And you say, well, hey, Eli, why would you compare his sacks for this year? Kayvon Thibodeau is out injured. Cool, no problem. Let's take away those 4 sacks that he has this year. He has 16 sacks in total in his career, and that's him missing half or most of his games in his career as a New York Giants. Dave Gettleman guy, okay? Kayvon's hurt. He comes in and he plays extremely well. Not only that, you also had another guy in here that's doing extremely well. He's on a whole different team here, guys. Yes, you guessed it. Xavier McKinney, another Dave Gettleman guy. Unfortunately, we could not pay Xavier McKinney to be here. Balling the hell out. While he was here helping his team, of course, win and etc. Okay, let's go a little bit more. B.J. Hill's on Cincinnati. Who drafted him, Speed? That's right, Dave Gettleman. Another Dave Gettleman type of guy, right? So when I look at Joe Shane and I look at his draft class and when he had Evan Neal, who is never going to see the light of day of a football field ever again, it seems. When I look at Izudu playing out of position, may I mind you, where they thought he was a left tackle. Whiffed completely. When I start looking at the Joe Shane roster here of what the people that he drafted, who did he hit on in that year? I'll wait. People will say Kayvon Thibodeau. No. I don't think so.
He's been good, not great, but for a 5th overall pick, you can't say that's a hit.
No, that's definitely not a hit, right? Then you look at Wan'Dale Robinson, you go,
meh,
maybe,
meh.
I don't know. Jury's still out,
meh,
right?
Meh.
Cordell Flott. Come on, let me just get through this. I'm sorry, Cordell Flott.
Meh.
Okay, Bellinger.
Meh.
Okay. Let's do it again. Who the hell's Dane Belton? I know who he is.
Oh, he got truck stick last game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
The only person on this list that you go, ooh, Michael McFadden.
That's
the only person, right? Then it's DJ Davison, Marcus Keith. I don't even know who that and Darren Beavers. You look at this draft that Joe Shane draft.
McFadden was the best pick.
That's it.
Value wise.
That's it. And that's value wise. Right? Let's move on. Let's move on. The best draft position or etc. that he had was probably this year, but let's go on. Deonte Banks, up in the air. John Michael Smith, maybe. He's coming along. Eric Gray, still can't find enough reps for him. Trey Hawkins, right? Jordan Riley, who the hell's Javarius Owens? Who is that? Okay, let me say this right now. The person is to blame because this is 98% of his roster. The person that is winning and killing it right now is a Dave Gettleman guy, and that's Dexter freaking Lawrence. Okay, the person that's killing it and coming alive right now, that is a G's Ojolari, Dave Gettleman person. This is all Joe Shane. When they went to the championship or when they went to the playoffs, it was mostly a Dave Gettleman roster. Let's call a spade a spade. Joe Shane is doing a terrible job here for the New York Giants. He is. This is what you see when you have bad drafting in the past 2 years. He finally got it together this past year. These guys, and you still can't say, well, this was a sure enough draft. Yeah, you can say Malik Neighbors. That was just surefire. Can you talk about the rest of them? Newbin's
been good.
Drew Phillips. Yeah,
good.
They've been. It seems
they're okay.
promising.
They're good.
It seems promising.
That's the
word.
But
let's get a whole year in with film on them and let people start to freaking. And I don't even think they'll game plan around them. But let's people start to game plan around these guys. Yeah. Do you think they're gonna hit? It's still up in the air. Joe Shane is on the hot seat to me, not Brian Daboll. Joe freaking Shane. He gotta get it together. Because right now, this roster that we're looking at that he draft, I just named probably 5 people, and that's even giving them that's giving it to him. I probably named 5 people from that list I gave you guys. That's like, man, they really stepped up for those past 2 drafts. Maybe, and I'm lying with 5, but probably 3. Joe Shane is to blame right now for how the New York Giants look. Yeah, you can smile. You look good doing it, bro. You look like you can do your job well, especially your hard knocks. He's sitting back throwing the coos ball around. Who you want to draft, son? Who you want to draft, daughter?
His son was right.
And his son was right.
Give your son the keys to the kingdom then, because you can't do it, Joe. You can't do it, Joe. I'm sorry. I lost more faith in Joe Shane than I do in Brian Daboll at this point. And Brian Daboll has some flaws, and we'll get to it, Speed, because I know you have yours to go through. But I'm telling you right now, Joe Shane should be on a hot seat for the way this team looks at this particular moment. I am not happy. And I think right now the Giants fans, instead of saying, hey, let's fire everybody, let's fire the right person this time. Let's fire the right person this time. I just gave y'all guys all these names. Hefe just gave you guys all the reasons to why we picked this person. Go with the guy that needs to be terminated from his job. And I hate to say anyone to be terminated. Let me make that clear. But Joe Shane on a hot seat, my brother. And they're going to give you one more year. It's evident. They're going to give it to you. But you on a hot seat, my guy. I'm sorry. Rant over. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, good. Hey, go clap for that.
It was good.
That was it. Tell us how you really feel.
After Speed goes, I'm going to drop a cherry on top. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, listen, what I will agree with on the Joe Shane thing, and now I wouldn't say he's on a hot seat, but I would think he's under way more scrutiny. I was a Joe Shane backer for the longest time, but there's huge kinks in the armor right now that are really showing themselves. Like the fact that we used a Zudu, a guard, a failed guard, and what's your most important position on the line? Who's your most important player? Andrew Thomas at left tackle. Andrew Thomas, for all his all-pro greatness, is injury prone. He's been injury prone his whole career. So you didn't think that, hey, listen, I think we resolved this offensive line. Let me just make sure that it's solved. And if our all-pro left tackle that's been injured every year goes down, we have a viable backup. Like, you didn't think that might be a thing that you should think about over there. And now we talked about Neal, and I think there's more to it than just Neal not playing, not developing. It's impossible to me to not try Neal somewhere, right? Like it doesn't make sense anymore. Something else has to be afoot. Either way, he looks worse and worse. It looks worse and worse on Joe Shane's record. I don't know what the reasoning is, whether you're trying to develop him more, whether you're questioning something about his work ethic, or I don't know. It looks horrible, whatever it is. And then the second part of this is we keep saying, like, all right, let's bench, Daniel Jones. But the reason why you don't want to bench him is because, like, Locke is not like, oh, well, is Locke going to be any better? That's on Joe Shane. If you don't have a viable backup to a guy that's not getting the job done, and again, a guy that's even if it's not about play, he's injury prone too. So you came prepared last year, but then you're less prepared this year on a guy coming off his worst season. How does that compute? It doesn't compute. So Joe Shane, you're under the microscope. Your shit, it's wilting right now. Everything's going. But I'll say this: if we're doing blame game, this is all revolving around number 8. It is all revolving around number 8. Because if Tyrod Taylor was your quarterback on this team, a very average bridge quarterback, this team is 4-3 right now, and we are not talking about all the busts as much. We're not talking about all these misses. We're talking about, hey, we are right there in the playoffs. All we got to do is beat Pitt, and then we got Carolina, and we're there's an avenue here. Do you think we're sitting here roasting Joe Shane if we're 4-3? Do you think, like, honestly, do you guys think we're doing that? No, we're not. We're talking about, hey, what can we do? Who can we add at the trade deadline, or something like that? We're propping up all the guys that are doing good. We're saying, hey, Malik's Malik's doing good. Jalen Hyatt's probably balling out. Wan'Dale Robinson's probably doing good. We're talking about all these drops, right? We talk about the drops. It's about ball placement. The reason why there's drops is because there's no good fucking ball placement. People are blaming Darius Slayton for a huge drop, quote unquote drop, on a huge play on 2nd 11 early in that game. It's 7-0. If Daniel Jones gets the ball out in front of Darius Slayton, it's quite possibly a 20-yard gain or more. Who knows if he could still be running? But instead, Darius Slayton has to stop his route in the middle of the field, drop back, and try and catch a ball while he's on a full speed run in a different direction, and it goes through his arms. Should have been caught, but even if it wasn't caught, it was caught. It's a 15-yard gain, and the play's dead there. No yak after that. We talk about explosive plays. Explosive plays doesn't mean you have to connect on 40-yard bombs all the time. Explosive plays means you're getting the ball to your receiver on the run, timing is perfect, and they can make a play after it. What we don't have is a guy that can throw with anticipation and give our wide receivers a chance to score afterwards. And that's this whole fucking offense is sunk because of it. It's why the defense hates playing in the games and is stressed out. It's because we have no fucking offense to help us. And that's what the crux of this whole situation, in my opinion.
And good rant. And while, like, I used to, like, blame Daniel and get mad at Daniel, but at some point you just got to look at the people who continue to roll him out there, or the people that paid him, because it's not Daniel Jones' fault that his ability is his ability. It's the people who are evaluating and paying and making decisions. He doesn't have to be out there. Someone's deciding to continue to put him out here for 6 years. So it's not his fault. But I truly believe when I said the Giants are a quarterback away, you see teams like Houston of last year, Washington of this year, the difference a quarterback can make has no bounds for offense and defense, for the entire city, the organization. It changes everything when you have a real threat at quarterback. And I want to talk real quick about what we think is Joe Shane's best draft class, which is this recent one. It's also a draft where this was, widely considered a great quarterback class. And when he's sitting there at the 5th pick, he said J.J. McCarthy is not good enough. Bo Nix is not good enough. Michael Penix is not good enough. This was a quarterback class where you could have taken one and developed one and let Jones do his thing. But at this point, now when Jones is operating the 31st ranked offense in the NFL, your backup quarterback that you selected and paid is not good enough to replace him. So if he didn't have an ounce of fucking upside, why did you choose him? What is he here for if he has no fucking upside to do better than the 31st offense?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's the big part.
And consecutively. I believe this is it's been consecutively for the past 3-4 years.
Last thought on that draft class, the same one that we think is his best one, he didn't draft a single offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And here we are again. So it's malpractice what he's done, honestly.
I hear you.
And you know what? And this is why he's on a hot seat to me.
And I gotta be honest too, with the quarterback thing again, I'll go back to it. It's not about even stats. It's about making plays when the plays are need to be made, right? Like getting a first down, extending drives, and if you don't have somebody that can do that, then we have to bench him and find out what we have in lock. Because and this is the next question I want to bring up to you guys. And God bless her heart, Patty Traina. She might be out there on a lot of topics, but I think she brought up by not even for the right reasoning, she brought up a good topic. Like, do you bench Daniel Jones for Drew Lock if you think that Lock's going to give you the same thing that Daniel Jones would give you? And I'll go to Jeff first. Jeff, what do you think? Would you bench Daniel Jones for Lock if you think it's going to be even, say, slightly worse?
Yep.
Like,
and the answer is 100% yes. You know what you're getting with Daniel Jones, and it's the 31st ranked offense in the NFL. We're averaging 14 points a game. It's a fucking joke. Okay. If you get worse than that, then at least you bottom out and you have a great draft pick. It's at some point you have to stop pretending you're a competitor and start thinking about the future. This is the same time last year when we started talking about, listen, if you're not going to pay McKinney and Barkley, get something back. Instead, they tried to roll it out. They tried to turn the season around, and they both walked scot-free, and they're both balling elsewhere. So at some point, you have to think about the future, right? Drew Lock, come on in. You can operate the 31st ranked offense, and then we don't have to risk $23 million on the books next year. Think about the future. And maybe because the seat is hot, they can't think about the future. They need to win games now. And Daniel Jones technically is their best quarterback. So they need to win games to save face and quiet the media and keep their jobs. So they're thinking about themselves while the Giants, the actual team and organization, needs to think about the future.
Eli, what do you think, man?
Listen, I get where Hef is coming from. You know what I'm saying? But no, you paid this money to this bum. Go and bring him out there. Put him out there. Let him. Who cares about the clause? You put it in the contract. You agreed to that contract. You go put him out there. You agreed to it. You signed it. Y'all both signed, shook hands, kissed baby, shake hands. Y'all did it all. Y'all did it all for the media, right? So go out there and play it. Because if I'm going to lose with freaking Drew Lock in there, damn right I'm going to lose with Daniel Jones, because there is a short chance that Drew Lock might win us some games and we'll be in quarterback hell all over again. God. I'm not saying tank, people. I'm not saying tank, but man, it'll be good. It'll be nice to get a new quarterback. I'm just saying here. Yeah. But you paid him all this money. You agreed to that injury clause. If he gets hurt, then hey, I hope he doesn't. I'm not asking for injury, people, when I say this. But if he go out there and gets hurt, then hey, he gets hurt. There's nothing you can do about that. But
isn't that doubling down on a bad, like, how many times have we doubled down on Daniel Jones and it looked bad? Now the contract, which was so bad, we have a chance to triple down on it and make it even worse by paying Daniel Jones another $46 million next year.
That's up to John Mara. Listen, that's coming out of your pocket, dog. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is why I know they're staying. Because the fact that they are doubling down on Daniel Jones, knowing that he's playing. All right, listen, let me not say he's not playing horrible, but that last game was horrible. All right. But the fact that Daniel Jones can't play up to what we think his potential is, I know they're safe because they're trotting him right back out there to get creamed again. You know what I'm saying? They know this is them tanking without telling us they're tanking. to get the guy. This is why you see Brandon Brown out there in the Colorado saying, "Hey, yo, I'm out here. I'm watching. I'm looking at you, Shador. What up, Sanders? What up, Shador? I'm looking, baby. I know you want to be a Giant. Yeah. I'm here to persuade you to make sure you pull the Eli Manning to make sure you come to the Giants." That's what I think that was. But that's another subject here.
Speak.
But of course they know they're safe. That's why they're trotting this dude out here.
Here's my final thought, Speak, and then you're up. If my house is going to burn down either way, I'd rather not have to pay for it next year, because this is the exact situation that we're in right now. The house is going down with Locke, with Jones, maybe with DeVito. Who the fuck knows? He won 3 games in a row last year and beat Jordan Love and the Packers somehow at home. He even threw a touchdown pass at home, believe it or not. So these things can happen. We're so stuck and so fucked right now. It's not even funny. Spiro, who's making more sense here?
Well, first of all, the Rangers, on a separate note, Rangers just put up a touchdown on the Canadians. No big deal. Canadians. Anyway, first, here's the thing. When it comes down to who to blame and all this bullshit that we're talking about, I think that you're gonna blame. I think I just need to see what Locke could do, because you saw him for 5 seconds throw a deep bomb to Hyatt, and it's the most excited I've gotten possibly all season. Like, it was with anticipation. It was a catchable ball. And if
y'all want to win games, y'all really want to.
If Locke comes out here and throws 3 interceptions,
quarterback,
and one of them gets taken to the house, as long as he had 2 touchdowns, and we see what Hyatt has, and we see what Wandell could do with a guy that could throw the ball a little bit further down the field.
He's just not afraid.
I want to see some. Yeah, I want to see some downfield action. Like, I'll lose the game. I'll let him throw 3 picks, but I cannot stand watching all these defensive backs sitting on every route that Daniel Jones throws, because they're just waiting for these short. They know he's limited. He's got no arm left anymore. The neck injury has affected his ability to go down the field. He doesn't throw with anticipation. I know that is him. He's not going to change that at this point. Nothing he's going to do from now to the end of the season is going to change that. What I want to see is, hey, what can Locke do with Wandell? What can he do with Hyatt if he gets back in from that broken rib? And what can he do with Neighbors? And I want to see what the defense now has to back up a little bit. They can't just sit on these short routes all the time, because you know what? This guy's going to take a chance. Whether it's a bad throw or not, he's going to take the chance. And I need to see some fucking chances. I'm done with the short fucking game.
I'm tired of y'all too. I really am.
Good.
And let me tell y'all why I'm tired of y'all too. Because you guys just did all that crying when Tommy DeVito.
Nobody's crying.
Stop. Hold on now. Hold on. You're funny. That was good. But no. That was good. But you guys were crying when Tommy DeVito came in and won us some games, when Tyrod Taylor won us some games, because we could have been higher up and got Drake May. Now y'all want Drew Lock to come in here and potentially win some more games for us?
So do you think he gives us
mother effer out there? Let him go out there and throw the ball. Throw us to the number 1 overall pick, Daniel. That's the best thing you're gonna do being here on the New York Giants. Go throw us into a number 1 draft pick to get your ass up out of here, bruh. Let's go.
What if it gets Dable fired? What if it gets Dable fired? If it really gets ensuing, what if it looks so bad?
I'm telling you right now, as my witness, I'm telling y'all, those guys are coming back next year. I'm telling
3 wins.
You.
3 wins.
I'm telling you, they're coming back next year. I'm telling y'all, they're both coming back next year, and they're gonna get their quarterback. This is why they trotting him out there. Can we stop acting like? Can we stop acting like we don't get this scoop, guys? Can we stop acting like the BS stuff? Stop. I understand we got to do this for television. Stop. You guys are smoking this stuff over there. What's in Jersey water?
Oh, speaking of,
we don't drink it here.
It's like sewage. It's like fucking sewage. That's what it is.
Y'all got to stop this madness, man.
But wasn't Joe Judge safe until he wasn't safe? Until it all came crumbling fucking down because everything got so bad? Joe Judge.
Why?
Because Daniel Jones was quarterback.
That was it. No, well, we know why. We know why Joe Shane was.
He fell apart on the. He fell apart at the mic. Joe Judge.
Right, he fell apart at the mic. Otherwise, he'd have been here.
Man, that
and
made
the GM that they were looking at,
man.
they didn't want him. They didn't want him.
Yeah, but you don't think if this thing gets so bad that Dable's going to maybe crack behind the mic one of these times where it's 3 wins, he's lost it. His defense is yelling at him. The people are quitting on him left and right. You don't think he might crack? That's my only worry. And I agree with you. We need that number 1 pick. My worry is that it gets so bad that something bad happens and they fire Dable. I want Dable to get that guy, but it's such a fucking tricky little situation they're in right now. I don't want them to lose so much.
I would agree with you 100% if there was no injury clause. If Andrew Thomas wasn't out and now that left blind side is going to be a fucking revolving door of guys flying at him, or if he goes on a rushing play, he likes to offer up his neck to anyone who wants it. He's going to get hurt if you keep putting Jones out there. I would almost guarantee it. It's going to happen.
Guess what? Joe Shane, which is the horrible GM we just broke down, the horrible GM that he is, you signed it. You agreed to that terrible contract of the injury clause. Guess what? Trot his ass up out there and let him play. Why are we scared of it now? If he gets double dipped, then hey, he earned it. He signed the contract. He got them to agree to that stupid deal. That's for
doubling
Joe.
down on a bad bet.
It's going to hurt us next year. It's going to hurt us next year then, though.
Cool. Listen,
cool.
There's ways to finagle the cap. We've seen it, right? But at the end of the day, if he goes out there and he gets hurt, that's on Joe Shane, which is why I say he's on a hot seat. And Speed, I don't know why you don't agree with that, but that's another subject.
Who's
he's not on a hot seat, but I understand it's a microscope. Joe Shane. This is why he's on a hot seat to me, because if he does, yes, I understand. But at the end of the day, you signed it. Why go back and be scared now? Go out there and let him play. Let him throw you into the number 1 overall pick. That is the best gift Daniel Jones will give the Giants fan base.
But he doesn't give us gifts. He doesn't give us gifts. He's the fucking Grinch. He doesn't bring presents.
He's going to win just enough games at the end of the season. You know that. If DJ stays healthy, he's going to win just enough games to fuck us because that's what he does.
Bro,
Jones going to win us some games to keep stop.
Everything breaks his way for him to keep his job. That's how
I'll tell you what. I'm going to go on a limb here. This next game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be the last game Daniel Jones plays as a New York Giant. Book it. Write it down in a fucking whatever the fuck you want to write it in. He's going to get sacked. It's going to hurt a lot. I don't want him I'm not saying he's going to get hurt. Be it performance or physical abuse that he's going to take, because this is a really good Steelers defense.
I got a question.
This is the last game Daniel Jones is playing in New York.
How many wins is going to make y'all happy if freaking Drew Lock wins some games? How many wins is going to make y'all happy?
It's
you know what they tried.
I want something different. I want to evaluate players differently. I want to see the ball spread down the field a little bit more. It might not lead to wins, but I want to see the ball push down the field a little more.
This is crazy. This is a crazy narrative. I'm sorry.
And what's the worst?
Eli,
what's the worst thing?
You know what it is?
I'm in a bizarro land.
What is the worst thing that happens if Locke comes in? That he wins.
Win games. That's what's going to happen.
But at least you get to evaluate somebody then.
At least we can see if Hyatt. At least we can see if Hyatt is a complete fucking bust, or is it that we don't throw a deep ball? You know, like there.
Yeah. Or is our line this bad because of it's bad, or is it because DJ keeps walking himself into fucking sacks and not throwing the fucking ball?
I mean, we've seen Drew Lock in the 4th quarter, right? We've seen him. God, really? You really think Drew Lock's going to come in here and be mad like Tyrod Taylor all of a sudden? I don't even think he's Tyrod Taylor. No. But do you think he's going to come in and be Tyrod Taylor all of a sudden?
And worst case, he's not, and we still lose games, but we still save that $23 million no matter what.
That's what this is about. It's not about Drew Lock saving the season. The season's done. This is about getting away from the ghost of Daniel Jones, because if he gets hurt, because we keep rolling him out there, even if we're losing games, right? What if we're 2-12? If we're 2-12, but then Daniel Jones gets hurt, we will never escape the ghost of Daniel Jones, because he'll be on the books for $43 million next year.
And last thing, last thing, E, before you go, it shows the locker room that you give a fuck.
Yes.
The locker room is turning. They don't like Daniel.
They're sick of him.
They don't like Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. They can say whatever they want to say. You get behind the fucking mic. It shows the locker room that you give a fuck and you're trying something different. That's the biggest thing.
Whose quote was it that said, if somebody talks about your work ethic, it means you can't play. Charles Barkley, I think. If somebody has to talk about you coming to the gym early, it means you ain't worth the shit.
Yes.
Yo,
like,
you know what?
Best quote ever. That's not something you say about someone who has great ability.
I agree with
a
y'all.
Special player.
Yes.
I agree with y'all that Daniel Jones might be losing faith with his fellow teammates because look at the film where my guy Malik Neighbors had to point out that
oh my God, bro.
Embarrassing.
Hey, Wandale's open, and he still threw it behind him.
That's the play Spiro was talking about. Dude, Slayton Slayton was in a fucking desert by himself. He had 10 yards in every space, in every direction.
How many times are this is the problem. Neighbors is going to start getting hot. He even said it behind the mic. He said behind the mic, he's like, I was open. This was only 7 games into the season. How much worse is it going to get the more this happens? I don't want it to combust. At least if Locke goes down, we don't have to hear the media talking about Daniel Jones anymore. We don't have to hear our own beat writers talking about him. The guys, at least their mindset is adjusted. They know they have a chance for deep plays. It just changes the narrative, and that's what we need, you know.
Listen, let me just say this, man. Shout out to the 644 people that came in and tuned in and watching live with us.
They like
thank
the
you
debates.
so much, Air Horns.
They like the debates.
Oh, listen, it's getting spicy today. It's getting spicy here at Revival. And of course, man, we got to pay the bills. This show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. That's right, Underdog Fantasy. If you download the app today, they will match your deposit by half, up to $250. That's right. Use promo code Revival. They'll match your deposit by half, up to $250. So sign up today. Underdog Fantasy Sports, or at least the app, guys. Wow.
I gotta say one thing.
Yeah, sure.
If I could have my way, John summarized it perfectly. This is what I want the Giants to do. I want Shane gone. I want Brandon Brown in place, and I want to keep Dable. That's exactly what I want to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's there's a path to that. It saves a little faith.
Like Mara's afraid of being embarrassed and looking dysfunctional by firing people again. What do you think your record over the last decade? You're the worst team in the NFC. You got to be getting close to the worst team overall, record-wise. What do you think that looks like? At least keep swinging the bat until you find the right guy. But this is Shane's roster, and it's not right.
And again, I don't know, man. I keep going back to the quarterback. I think this offense would look better if it was. But again, and people want to pin the quarterback on him. I get it. You're the GM. You make the decision. You ultimately get the credit if they suck, and you get the burnt. You get the brunt of it if they suck. But I think that bigger things were afoot during that decision, and I don't think it was on Joe Shane alone. And he might get fired for it, but I think this whole thing.
I gotta say this. I got one more thing I gotta get off my chest, and I promise.
Yeah, I got one more thing too. Damn.
Thank you, brother. I just gotta let this out because this is the healing process for us. Because fuck the Giants, okay? Let me make this clear to all you Daniel Jones supporters, extremists, whatever the hell you're called. Okay, if I see one more goddamn stat of freaking Patrick Mahomes and Daniel Jones together, and y'all say that with Andy Reid, Daniel Jones would be Patrick Mahomes, God. I'm gonna call whatever number that I need to call to get y'all evaluated mentally.
Get some help.
You stop it.
Get
some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. You guys, I'm telling you right now, is making y'all finding anything to support this guy. Please listen to me and listen to me good. You guys seen for at least 15 years. Was it that long Eli Manning's been on the team? I don't know. But you guys seen for 15 seasons what above average quarterback play looks like. You've seen it. And we still holding this guy like he is Eli Manning. Y'all need to cut this shit out. I'm done. Y'all need to cut this shit out. I'm done. I'm fucking done with y'all. Y'all keeping him around. The fact that you comparing him to Patrick Mahomes and saying if he had Andy Reid, he'll do better. I'm done. Y'all have a good night. I'm done.
Stop.
I'm done with y'all today.
Get some help.
Get some help.
Like Michael Jordan said.
I'm done.
The funniest thing is now free Daniel Jones is now
Daniel,
which proves what was fucked up all along is that you root for Daniel Jones more than the Giants. You would rather see them lose with Daniel Jones than, God forbid, move on. Teams move on all the fucking time, and more often than I'd rather swing the bat. I'd rather get more swings until I get it right. But Eli really.
It's like, fuck this shit.
Speed. The other thing you and I talked about, like, yeah, but we were, as fans, you try to see the best in the decisions at the time, but we're not paid to make decisions. We're fans. We want to believe things are going to work out. So when he paid Daniel after that year, and we were like, okay, 2 more years, build around him. Okay, in a world where he could throw more than 15 touchdowns and get better and get,
thought that was a floor. Yeah.
Well, we wanted to believe that, but we don't get paid to make those decisions.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how fans feel, right? If we're pissed off at a move, but it turns out to be brilliant, the GM is still going to get credit for that.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't matter how we feel.
True.
What matters is the results, and the results are horrendous.
And I'll say this, because of and we don't talk about what happened afterwards, because we talked about, signing Daniel Jones alone was a decision that, set us off on a different path. The problem was we went from possibly rebuilding this thing and probably stripping it down to paying Daniel Jones, and then thinking that we were close. We thought we were close at that point because we won a playoff game, and then we tried to put everything else around him. So the rebuild went out the window. The properly doing things right went out the window. Everything now changed. It was like, okay, we are now in win now mode when we shouldn't have been. We weren't in win now mode. This roster wasn't ready yet. But we fast forwarded everything because we signed Daniel Jones, and we tried our best to put Waller behind him, and we wasted a 3rd round pick there. We did all these decisions stemmed off of that that Vikings win. The best version of that we saw of Jones that we thought was the new floor, and it set everything right back down the wrong path. And now they're trying to readjust, but now, like you said, it's year 3. We need to see results now. They're now preaching patience, which I understand why they were, because now they want to redo the rebuild. But you guys fucked this up earlier on.
They fucked up.
Yeah, like you fucked it up, and now you want to preach patience. I understand why you want it, but doesn't mean you're going to get it. You're not going to get it.
We had so much fun in 2022, right? Like the 6-1 start, like it was glorious seeing your team be relevant and all of that. But the GM had full reign to like really tear this thing down and do it the right way. And it's hard to say.
It was never going to happen.
How do you have the balls to do that after you go? I mean, we were 9-7-1. It's not like we were 14-3 or something, but
9-6-1.
9-6-1. No, 9-7-1.
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was 17 games.
Yeah, it was.
We tied Washington, which.
Yeah, I think it was. Oh, wait, hold on. 2022 record Giants.
We are so smart.
Either way. No, well, you're right. It was 9-7-1.
Listen, this isn't a math show, okay?
We're not.
And also, our host really stormed off. That was amazing. That's.
I think he's actually done.
That's incredible.
No,
and I love that he has my picture.
I know.
Why is it my picture?
It's the best. I lost you. I interrupted your rant. Sorry.
I don't know.
What you're saying is they should have made the hard decision and moved on, but you couldn't sell Giants fans on moving on. You couldn't sell the owner on moving on.
I understand you can't just let him walk, right? I think franchise tag, make him do it again. And if he does that, that leads to the ACL tear, and then you walk away scot-free. You have zero money on the books to any quarterback. You could have paid Tyrod 12 million that the Jets paid him or whatever. And Tyrod, I mean, there was a lot of talk like of Daniel Jones is superior. Like, didn't really look like it to me. Tyrod is injury prone and has this. He's now older and all of that, but he is kind of a perfect bridge quarterback. He felt the pocket. He maneuvered. He kept his eyes downfield. He took chances. The guy learns a new offense every 18 months. The guy's fucking incredible. Imagine how many he must wake up with like 9 different plays in his head. Like, incredible. what that dude has to do every year in learning a new offense, and he would have been fine. He would have been fine. That's your bridge. You don't pay a bridge $40 million. You win a Super Bowl once you pay.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be the bridge initially. That we thought that was a new floor, and we thought. I said it myself. I thought he had top 10 potential. Coming off that year, I thought that was going to be the new floor, and if he threw for 20 plus touchdowns the following year, we'd be cooking with gas. But it was a disaster the following year. Now he looks like he can't throw the ball. He's scared. He's shook. He can't. It just worst case scenario. Like
scenario.
Go on.
If we were like real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Right now we are where we are. Take emotions out of it. We're 2-5. What's the best case and the worst case scenario like for remainder of season, in your opinion? Like, if you think big picture, like last year or when DeVito ran off those wins.
Yeah.
In the moment, it was like, okay, like there's reasons to watch. We're kind of a fun team, but like you knew that team wasn't going anywhere, and all it did was push you back in a quarterback draft. And I can't fucking stand the rooting for losses shit. And it's October. Like I hate that. I fucking hate that. It's the worst position a team can put you in as a fan.
Yeah.
But big picture, this season's not going anywhere. We're buried in a 4-team division. The worst thing that could happen is either DJ gets hurt and then you're on the hook next year, or if the same thing happens and you wind up picking 7th to 10th and you're kind of out of it. This isn't the same kind of class quarterback wise. And now you're just kind of screwed and you're in no man's land once again.
Right.
Like, what do you think?
I mean, listen, I'm not rooting for losses. That's what I kind of want is the whole make losses fun again thing. I think Drew Lock would make it fun. He'd go down the field. We'd have a couple bombs. He's going to throw like two, three picks that will cost him.
We talk about this again. I had to come back and you said Drew Lock's name again, which caused me to
we're talking.
You kidding me?
We're talking
with this again.
Jeff's asking what's the best case scenario for what I think I want the rest of the season to look like.
Best and worst.
And I said best case. I think Drew Lock comes in here. He still loses games, but at least we get to see some more than 14 points a game on offense, and then we finish with
best
4
case
wins.
Scenario. Best case scenario. Give me this guy. That was electric watching an underdog from Jersey.
I'd be fine with that. Sure.
Win us some games, okay? Give me this guy. Give me something to cheer for. Where I'd be like,
so you want to win games? Is that what you want?
No, we already been there, Speed. We already been there.
So you want to lose games. So then throw Lock there. Keep Lock in there because he's not good.
What's the difference? What are we doing? I'm out of here. What are we doing? What's the difference?
Between him and DeVito? Between who? What's the difference between who?
What is the difference between these two? Daniel Jones and Lock? It doesn't matter. Keep Daniel Jones out there.
One doesn't cost us $47 million next year.
Why are we still talking about this damn clause? You signed it. Send them out there.
Yes,
you signed it.
If it messes up next year, do you want to screw us next year too?
That's making a bad season worse. Is when it carries into the next year. That's why.
Rookie quarterback anyway.
Yeah, but that's $23 million that you can't go get 2 starting guards or a swing tackle and overpay him a little because you just gotta have them. That's the difference.
I gotta ask y'all this right now. Do you feel this roster is an upgraded roster? Because I heard one of y'all say it. Do you feel this was an upgraded roster since we went to the playoffs? Anyone?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you feel this is an upgraded roster, we have all the intangibles to get back into the playoffs with this roster. Who cares about the goddamn cap with the Daniel Jones? We'll still have enough to sign a tackle off the bench. Andrew Thomas will be healthy enough. Illuminor is still going to be here.
I will tell you.
Signed him to 3 years or something, right? Let me see this shit.
That $23 million extra is the difference between being able to hold on to players like Saquon and McKinney instead of watching them go kill it for other fucking teams. That's the difference.
But we don't have them here right now.
But
that's the point. That's the principle. It's just having that extra space so that if it's an extra $2 million, fuck it, let's keep him. He needs to be here.
Azeez Ojulari. Maybe we keep Azeez Ojulari. What happened about Azeez Ojulari will go if we lose that $23 million. If we keep that, we could sign him back and keep the 3 edges. That's the difference between losing that
Bro,
player.
do you think Azeez Ojulari is going to demand? He has 4 sacks, and respectfully, that's pretty good. That's decent, right?
Pretty good.
He has
Pretty,
4 sacks.
yeah.
Well,
Most
like
of
the
his
Giants,
career was
Giants'
injured.
luck.
You
He'll
think
get to
somebody's
10
going to pay him
sacks.
top dollar?
Oh, he'll get to
You
10
think somebody's
sacks this
gonna pay
year because
Azeez
he's due to
top
get paid.
No, not top dollar, but it's money you can't invest in him and somebody else. It's gonna end up biting you.
Stop.
It's gonna end up biting you. There's a cap.
I need to look this up.
There's a cap.
I need to look this up. We know it could be finagled, right? But let's look this up, right? How much this would cost him? Because I'm sure we have rights to him because he's still on his rookie deal, right?
Yeah, but no, but
this
this
is
is
his last
it.
year. He's done
Yeah.
after this year.
Yeah.
Frozen.
Did I lose y'all? Did I lose
No,
y'all?
you're here ish.
Okay. Does he go? I'm sorry. Do we have rights to Azeez Ojulari?
No,
contract?
not
No,
after this year. No. Free agent.
Which is why he's a trade candidate right now.
He's an unrestricted
Yep.
free agent.
Yeah, he's gonna
Or is he
be
restricted?
Be gone. No,
unrestricted.
unrestricted. He's
We
gonna
have
go.
we have no rights. There's no
Yeah.
5th-year option. He's at the end of his deal.
So he'll be gone if we don't have
Let's do
$23 million.
this. I got to do this live. What is he, an edge?
Mm-hmm.
He's an edge rusher, right?
He likes it
word.
as trying.
I'm trying, bro. It's trying. This is one of these pods, man. We podding today, people. Please hit that thumbs up. We are podding today, people. Because I'm trying to listen. I don't know how much is what do they call it? The what you can't figure out a contract.
Franchise tag.
How much is a franchise tag for Edge? I don't think it's a lot.
For Edge, it's pretty expensive.
It's not. That's a premium position. It's going to be too much for Azeez Ojulari.
Yes.
Somebody give me the.
I'm not tagging Azeez.
You give him a 1-year prove it deal for $8 million.
I would not. But here's the thing. There you go. You give. Here's the thing. You could give him a 1-year deal because I don't think a team is going to touch him.
Agreed.
At this point, not to say touch him, but I don't think it'll be $8 million. If you say, "Hey, come on back, I'll give you 5," you can prove it again, and then you hit free agency.
Depends how many sacks he piles up. If he gets,
I give you that.
Sniffs,
So an extra, so
sacks,
$6 million the most. I think that's the walkaway number. $6 million the most.
No, he'll get more than that. I mean, I think he'll get more than that.
Stop it!
But
y'all crazy. If you
got
think
that
he's going
extra
to get $7 million, $8 million, if the franchise tag is $8 million, no team is paying him $8 million.
It's not 8. It can't be 8. That doesn't sound right.
I'm just saying. Let's just say it's $10 million. Let's just do 8 because we said 8 for the shits and giggles of it. Let's just say the franchise tag is $8 million. There's no team that's going to pay him $8 million. There's no team that's going to pay him $10 million. The Giants will pay him $7 million to $6 million to stay here to prove it.
I'll give you the projected,
and that's going to be incentives.
Hold on, let me give you the projected, and I'll just say defensive end, right? Because that's what he would be considered as, edge, defensive end. The projected franchise tag for 2025 is $24 million.
That's fucking insane. Holy shit.
Yes, I told you that you do not want to tag this motherfucker.
Wow.
No.
That's fucking insane. All right, that got rid of my argument. Y'all guys are right on that one. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. 1 year.
He's like, well, okay then.
I'll shut up now.
Yeah, that's a premium position. And
Keep Daniel Jones on the bench, damn it.
Thank you. We need to bench that guy now.
Bench that motherfucker today.
TJ Watt's gonna crush that dude.
Bench him today.
That's so funny. Full circle. It took us an hour and 43 minutes, but we broke them.
But we got there with tears in my eyes. Holy shit.
That's so funny. I mean, if the Giants were actually smart, maybe they would say, let's extend you a year. Here's $8 million for next year. You only got 4 sacks. You've only had 1 good year.
Do it now. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, but we don't do that.
Well, no,
that's Joe Shane. And why we say he's on a freaking hot seat and Spiro says he's on a microscope, which I don't know.
Well, no, he's
on a hot seat.
Did we try to pay some guys at the bye last, or was it? Well, actually, we tried to pay Barkley at the bye.
Saquon 2 years.
2020, yeah,
Saquon. It was no one else.
But anyways, this was fun. What wasn't fun? The Knicks getting their fucking dicks kicked in by fucking Celtics, dude. They had 29 3-pointers. I think it was like I think it was a record. I don't know. I think they lost by 30.
A record? See, why are you doing this to me? 132 to 109. Oh my god.
The Celtics tie NBA record with 29 3-pointers. 29.
Please. This is the team we're supposed to face in the finals.
That's so many 3-pointers.
That's not normal. And when I checked the box score, every Knick was 0 for something from downtown and from the field. Like it looked like a horrible shooting night and a phenomenal.
Just listen. That's all calm down.
I'm seeing Julian Love too earlier, by the way. Someone even said Julian freaking Love. Another guy
we tried to do it. We tried to do it, Julian, and then he turned it down. Then he came back. What Joe Shea needs to get over is his fucking pride. He gets shunned. I feel like people turn him down, and then he's like, "Oh, you're done. I'm never gonna negotiate with you again." Like, dude, calm down. Like, go back to the table and get the deal done.
You know what, dude? Like, players aren't stupid, right? They look around the league. They know how their team is being managed. To see Daniel Jones get that bag. And then you could tell the kind of guy Saquon is and what he brought on the field to have them tell him he ain't worth it. Like, what motivation is that for the players who are giving max, who like Joe Shane might just tell me, no, I'm not worth it. Go kick rocks.
Well, to be fair, Dex and AT got paid. They're paying their guys. They just didn't want to pay.
But there's not a guy in that locker room. There's not a guy in that locker room that wanted Saquon to walk.
No. But there's more to it, though. There's more to it. Like, we'd all want not again. I think we're all in agreement. They didn't make the wrong decision by not paying Saquon. I think that we all are in agreement there. Like,
it's just a bad look.
It just looks bad when he comes in and walks all over you.
I'm not mad at them not paying him. I'm really not. Like, we've said this in the past.
I was on board. I was on board with it at the time. And then
we've said this already. I'm not mad.
You didn't have to go pay Singletary if you could draft like a Tyrone Tracy, and you know what I mean. That's the teams that are doing it right. When you draft well there, Tyrone Tracy was like a 5th round pick. Dude, you draft like that, you can not pay people, but you got to consistently draft well. That's a problem.
This was his only good draft. We broke it down already. This was his only good draft.
He gets another one. I think he will. I think he's gonna get another one. The problem, the larger one after that becomes, is he only staying around for one more? If you draft a quarterback, are they staying? Is it must win? Then we get to other. That's another. We'll save that. Let's
but like you're right,
that discussion for
because that's pure dysfunction. If you clean house when a rookie just finishes his rookie year, you're a fucking mess.
That's what ruined Daniel Jones, arguably. You could say that's what ruined. He would look pretty decent under the guy that drafted him.
I gotta tell you, last thing. When I saw the free Daniel Jones movement happening today, that's honestly the one reason I sat down, wrote a sketch, and I did it all today, like in an hour. Wrote it, recorded it. It's done. It's ready. Tomorrow morning, it's going out. The free Daniel Jones was the most mind-blowing mental illness thing I've ever seen in my life.
Free Daniel Jones. Free. Let me say this, guys. I mean
free
this
us.
when I say this. Free Daniel. I mean this when I word.
What's the name? Who said that?
With meaning, free Daniel Jones to the motherfucking garbage can. Get him the hell off this team. I'm just done with you psychopaths at this point. That's all I'm gonna call y'all. These psychopaths thinking that Daniel Jones would be better on a different team. He is what he is. Like, I just don't know. What are you guys seeing?
Gun to your head, Eli. Gun to your head, Eli. When Daniel Jones is done this season, does he ever start a game again in the NFL?
No.
What about you?
I'll
Jeff?
put my entire savings on it. No. Unless someone gets hurt.
What was the question?
No.
If after this year, when Daniel Jones leaves, does he start another game for an NFL team?
Not unless he'll be a backup. Like, not unless there's an injury. He won't be a starter somewhere else.
No.
Okay. All right.
The entire league showed y'all the draft. The day he was drafted. What the hell what was Dave Gettleman thinking? This guy's a 2-day. Like, he's a 2nd-day guy, a 3rd-day guy, a 5th round guy.
He just keeps going lower.
The whole league. The whole league laughed at us when we drafted Daniel Jones. And we were the ones like, well, you know what? He's a giant. Let's root for him. He gave us an entire 5.5 years of work with one good year under his belt. One. Eli Manning had won a Super Bowls by this time. He had won us Super Bowls and breaking records in the postseason at this time. What am I missing?
Eli was only 2 years away from his second Super Bowl at this point.
So not only that, he had a 12 or something game where he could have won back if Plaxico didn't shoot himself. What am I missing?
Giants were 12-1, 11-1.
What am I missing? What am I missing here? Daniel Jones extremists? Or whatever you want to be called, or the Daniel Jones fans, I guess, supporters.
Truth, I call them truthers.
Freedom fighters now. Freedom fighters.
What am I
They're
missing?
fighting for his freedom.
The problem is, it's so maddening. It's why there's always enough ammo for each side. Is that he'll have a road game where he'll look so sharp and just have it together, and then he comes home and completely shits the bed and looks like he doesn't know his own offense. Like, it's fucking unbelievable. And you just can't, like, unless you can be consistently good, you're never going anywhere. That's the problem. He's never turning into the guy that's consistently the Minnesota version. He can't do it. So move on.
It struck 12. The clock struck 12 already, guys. He turned into the pumpkin many years ago. In his second year, he turned into the pumpkin many years ago. What are we doing?
All right, they're worried about you. Let's
Why is this happening to me?
All right, let's cool down.
Why is this happening?
All right, I love you guys. My legs are numb. I
gotta get out. Shout out to the 709 people in here.
Oh, dang.
I will not say we broke a record. This is our second largest viewing that we had here. This is our first largest viewing that we had without a guest. So thank you guys for the support, man. We potted forever for you guys. So please, if you're watching on X, head over to YouTube. The link is in the New York Revival bio. Hit the link. Please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Tell someone to come support. Don't forget, man, we are on Apple and Spotify as well. I need to calm the hell down. On behalf of my brothers, man, you guys know who they are. And that's Mr. Glass Half Full of Nets. Spee, if you know.
Wait. Shout out Rutgers basketball for being ranked in the top 25 for the first time in a very, very long time. Rutgers basketball.
Men's or women's? Men's or women's?
Men. The men. They got top recruits everywhere. Shout out Rutgers basketball.
He can't just let a show go. He can't just go quietly into the night.
This is how you pod for another 15 minutes. Because Spiro does this.
He just pulls the pin, throws the grenade, and walks away every time.
Rutgers football needs to win. They're playing.
Oh my God, he's still going. He's still going.
Football still need a win. They're playing at USC Friday night, Rose Bowl, baby.
Can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing? Because I seen this one chat. They're saying Daniel Jones is better on the road. Let me say this.
Oh God, we're going back into it. What is happening right now?
Spiro,
we were so close, Spiro.
Spiro, thank you for this. I just want to get this last one in. We've seen somebody win on a road into a Super Bowl. That's all I'm gonna say. Daniel Jones ain't good on a fucking road.
Yeah, still win games.
He's just lucky. The guy that won on the road won us a Super Bowl and broke a record. Cut this out now. Stop it. Get some help.
Nate Burleson, please help us. Nate Burleson, please help us.
We out of here. It's your boy El Jefe. I mean, it's El Jefe, of course, aka White Jersey, aka Blue Jersey, and of course, it's your boy Eli Rax, aka Vibes. I'm done with y'all. Nate Burleson.
Nate Burleson, let's go.
New York Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodlard Roar!
Let's go.